where somebody else takes you out of the frame and put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, it just won't last.
Okay, so many people, there's always different ways to start a fire, okay? Because fire, heat, cooking, fire is one of the most essential things for comfort. And many people ask, well, why don't you just use a cigarette lighter to start the fire, right? You would think, just push the button, cigarette lighter will start. Well, have you ever tried to start a fire with a cigarette lighter?
No.
It's really, really hard. And especially when it's a little bit damp outside, it's almost impossible to get a fire. Because, like right now, we wanted to demonstrate, we wanted to take a cigarette lighter here and have one of you guys start a fire. But the cigarette lighter doesn't work, and it's stuck. So most of the cases when you have an older vehicle, the cigarette lighter might not work. So what we do, we've taken the battery, and we're going to show you how to start a fire with the battery. And the battery is there's a lot of different purposes for the battery, but what I would do is I would make sure you take the battery out of the car, because if you try to do a spark and it's connected to the computer, you can actually fry the computer. So it's really, really important to make sure you take the battery out of the car before you try this. So, has anybody ever tried to put the positive and negative together on a battery before?
Yeah.
You know what happens? It sparks, right?
Okay, just so you realise, this is last chance, isn't it? You're not going to damage or risk damaging the car in any survival situation if you can drive away. However, we're stuck somewhere. Okay, this is the last chance. We could use a cigarette lighter. It's really difficult, but this is quite a cool way of starting a fire. Also, if you had a couple of these, I know this sounds really crazy, but if you had two of these and you put them in series, which means you connect them together, with jumper cables and a welding rod, have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
You can actually put one of those in there and actually weld with two batteries, which is a pretty cool thing that people do on rallies. So it's just another way of cutting weight down in a car. Obviously, with fires and stuff, you always have to prepare it first, yeah? You always have to make it kindling. You go in your pockets, yeah? You get things out of your pockets which are dry. Okay, it's okay when you're in the jungle trying to get bits of wood and stuff, but if you've got stuff in your pockets which is dry, that's the best kindling you can use. So we've got a tissue. We'd use Bill's underpants. Obviously, with things like paper's made of fibre, so if you can actually rip it to pieces and actually shred the ends, that helps with starting the fire. So we'd have the. This is great. Bill's doing the survival stuff. This is the. Obviously, we've got some newspaper that we found. We would then get some twigs, obviously small twigs, bigger twigs, and have it all ready so that once you do get that initial flame, because that could be your only source of light, if that went out, you'd be gutted. So obviously, we've got a bit of a fire going, a bit of kindling there.
Preparation, you always prepare and think about before you do it. You can't just spark it and light one piece of paper and have a fire. You've got to make sure everything's prepared. Make sure you have the fire pit ready to catch the flame, because it might be your only spark. So make sure everything is situated ready.
We're doing this on the fly, guys. The little things here, I just got that knife out of the kitchen there. The little things like that, that's really dry. Look at that. Things like that, this is what you need. This is what you're after. Because you look at that, that is perfect kindling. That's so dry. You put a spark on that and up it's going to go.
Hey, put it on top of this baby. Build it on top of that. Here's some used toilet paper right here.
And obviously this is another good trick. Obviously with a branch, obviously, if you try to light that, it's quite hard. But if you make a fire stick, which is all you're trying to do, is, all I'm doing is chamfering little bits away. And that's called a fire stick. And that's a really good way of keeping fire going. As I break the lady's knife. Yeah. Like that. We're just getting the fibres up, and those sort of things go up really quickly. And as you can see, I'm just picking things off the trees as we're talking now. We put this in the, put that in there, just like so, just for the safety. Okay. First time Bill did this to me, I didn't actually realise it would be that bad, and I actually fly back into the jungle. That's quite intense. So just watch your eyes when you're doing it, but it does look quite good for the camera as well. put my safety glasses on.
You want to do it?
So we've got a bed there, all the other rubbish. We haven't rehearsed this, but hopefully it should just go up.
Okay, so basically when you touch it together, it's going to spark. What we're going to do is we're going to keep them together to create the heat. Okay, so you don't want to keep on hitting this, you want to keep it together and it'll spark. Make sure you're touching rubber because it's going to get hot.
Thanks! Does anyone want to come closer? Have a look.
There's a little fire burning right here.
There we go, look at that. So we've got flame. Okay, so we can build our fire and up it goes. Really, it's that simple, isn't it? You know?
And when you're in a rainforest where everything is wet, this is really, really essential because just a cigarette lighter, I mean, everything, you need to create tons of intense heat in order to dry out the wood and in order to dry out the kindling or whatever to get the flame going.
So obviously we have bigger and bigger flame bits on there. However, now we need a signal fire. We hear a plane coming, so obviously we get the spare tyre, that goes on there, we get black smoke, that will burn for ages. Okay? That is your lifeline. Black smoke will stand out. Obviously that there will not stand out. Okay, it's white smoke. Greenery, you can rip some of that off.
What I would do, if I see a car, I would put all the tires in. The tire creates tons and tons of black smoke. It'll be it's totally be in the air. You'll be able to see you from miles away.
Okay, so if it's about survival and you need it, use a spare wheel and up it go. You can get some petrol out, obviously, to increase it. So you get that on. Get the petrol on, up it goes, you lose your beard, but you've been picked up by a helicopter. That's just one little thing we can do there.
You love the way I look at you.
You know, my whole goal for this thing is if you guys watch it for the entertainment value and also gain some educational value, one day, you know, if you're skiing somewhere and all of a sudden you get stuck in your car and it blizzards out, you'll know what to do. And if you're out in the sand driving around and you get stuck, you'll know what to do. Little things that'll save your life, even one pointer. And let me give you an example. There was a family that was in Australia and they were driving around and they got stuck in the sand. Well, they got stuck. They stayed in the car and they figured we'll stay here for a while, but then no one came to help them. So they tried to walk out, okay, and they died 2 miles from civilization. But when the rescue crew came back to recover all their stuff, all they had to do, they went to the car, they deflated the tires down to 10 pounds. 10 pounds of pressure. That was just enough to give it enough traction to drive out. So all they did was deflate the tires and drove their car out. So if that couple would have known that all they needed to do was deflate their tires to get more traction, they could have survived. And so after watching this show, after, people can maybe pass this on and, that's just one, if you can save one life, I think I've done my job. Otherwise, you watch us having fun all over Chile, and it is really fun.